welcome back to another vlog. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing, and if you haven't, subscribe below. Today I'm gonna do a little Q&A. So about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I put up a little question box on my story, and if you follow me, maybe these are one of your questions, but I wanted to give people the chance to ask any questions they had about my life, who I am, my career, my pickleball, how I got to where I am. So I wrote everything down. I have 2 pages worth, but I kind of focused on the main questions that I think are important right now. And I'm gonna try and do this again, another Q&A every couple of months, just so people can get to know me or learn things. So basically, I will start with one of the most asked questions, which is how I got into pickleball. So, rewind. A year ago, I was playing professional squash. I moved down to Florida. Actually, this is another question. I'm gonna answer like 4 questions in one. So, when I was 18 years old, I was living in Winnipeg. I'm from Canada. And I had the opportunity to move to the US, to Philadelphia, and I played squash at Drexel University. So I played D1 for 4 years. And basically I haven't gone back since. So I lived in Philadelphia for 4 years, I played squash, and then when I graduated, I was not ready to give up squash. It felt like it was my identity, and I wanted to pursue a professional squash career. So I was looking at different places to move for training purposes, where the best hubs were for squash, and I could have gone to Australia or Europe, stayed in the US, which I decided to do. But I decided to move from Philadelphia down to Florida because there was a good training facility down here and coach, and it was an opportunity that I just had to take. So I moved down here, and that lasted 8 months. So within 8 months, I went from like 370 in the world to 108, I believe. My goal was originally to give it 3 years, see how good I can get, break top 50 in the world within 3 years. And that was that. I hit a bit of a bump in the road, and squash wasn't for me at the time. I needed a break mentally. There was just some stuff that was going on, and I had to step away for a bit, which is great because everything obviously happens for a reason. Hence, I found pickleball, and I started pickleball just for fun. I just wanted to meet people. I was living in Florida still. I felt like I didn't have a lot of purpose. I didn't know what my hobbies were, and I was really confused with kind of where I was going and what my plan was. So I started pickleball. I met some amazing people, and I started to pick it up a lot quicker than the average person, I guess, just because of my racket sport background. And within 3-4 months of me just playing rec, I decided to enter a couple pro tournaments and see how that went. And obviously it's turned out well for me. That's not the case for everybody. I got lucky. The timing of me starting to play pro and when everything was happening with pickleball, everything was aligning very well. Coming into the sport at the time I did, and my parents were big into pickleball, and they were always the ones telling me like, oh, you gotta try pickleball. And anyway, I never did. So then when I did, they're like, see, you gotta try pickleball. And my grandpa loved pickleball, so that is how I started pickleball. The next question, let's see here, is why did I choose Florida? So I chose Florida originally for squash. So I moved down here, I signed my lease, my goal was to play pro, and then pickleball happened, and it just so happens that Delray Beach is literally like a prime spot where all these pros live for pickleball. So I kind of just fit right in, and everything was aligning. I do get the question a lot, did I play tennis before? Yes and no. So squash is my main sport, was my main sport, and probably from the ages 12 to 15, 16, I did play tennis, because if I didn't, I think I wouldn't have the ground strokes I do in pickleball. So tennis definitely plays a factor in that, and it works. Pickleball works a lot to like tennis players' background, just with the ground strokes, the hand-eye squash, for a lot of people, slappier and like more cut, I guess, on the ball, less like coming over and topspin. So I've definitely had to make a lot of adjustments coming into the sport, figuring out different strategies, patterns, technique. There's been a lot of change and adapting, and I think that's the biggest thing, coming over from squash to pickleball and learning how to do that quickly, because the game's consistently progressing, and if you're not progressing with it, you're gonna get stuck. So you gotta be very adaptable to everything going on. Another question I got quite a bit is, do I ever go home, like to Canada? The answer is yes and no. So I love summers in Canada. We have a cabin. So growing up, I used to spend all my summers at the cabin. I started a couple little businesses when I was younger. I'll go over that in another Q&A, because I really want to focus on like pickleball, squash, and how I got to where I am right now in this vlog. I do go visit Canada, I'd say maybe 4 times a year. I go in the summer once or twice. In the winter, I love the snow. It's crazy, but I love the minus 30 degree weather. It's, I don't know, it's homey, cozy. Reminds me of a kid and playing in the winter in the snow, skating, tobogganing, and all that good stuff. But I do love the summers there at the cabin with the lake and the boating and seeing all my friends, which I like to really work hard at holding relationships back in Winnipeg. So I still have a lot of friends there, and every time I go home, it's like I never left. So I connect with them again, and that's really special. How do I balance pickleball and work life? So if you don't know me, I'm a very structured, scheduled type person. So I like everything to be planned like hour to hour. So every week I will plan my schedule. I'll plan out my training, so my drills, my games, my workouts, when I'm eating at home, when I'm going out to meet friends, just so I can grocery shop accordingly. I do have a dog, and so I gotta make sure that I leave time for him and my boyfriend. It's all about balancing. I think I've learned through university, balancing academics and athletics, that really helped me learn how to prioritize certain things and everything I wanted to get done so I can get it done. And there's a lot of doubt in me working, which is fair. I do work. I did work. I still do. It's a different kind of work. A couple months ago, I quit my job. I'd been there for a couple years. I was doing business development and marketing for a youth ice hockey organization. And it's very interesting because I could relate with the sport background, and I always want to be involved in sports in some sort of way. And so I was working for them, and it just got to a point where my gut was telling me that I need to go full out in pickleball on my social media that I've created, because I felt like I was holding myself back, trying too many paths at once. And if you want to do something well, you need to commit yourself to it. So I quit my job, but I'm still somehow extremely busy. So I manage all my own social media platforms. I'm still trying to build more and kind of create my brand that I'm trying to build. So a lot of content creation, planning, emails, working with different brands, companies, trying to find sponsorships, because it is definitely not cheap to play professional pickleball. Tournaments are expensive, the entry fees, the travel, and then just on top of that, life, my rent, my car, my food, my every bill that just somehow manages to add up. So anyways, my main focus is right now for work is professional pickleball, so competing, training, and social media. So I do keep myself busy, like insanely busy, and I love it. I function very well in a very busy environment. I do need to be better at relaxing every now and then. I feel like I don't give myself time to relax, sit, breathe. read. I'm trying to read more. I'm not good at reading. As you can see, I have like a little bookshelf right here. I've actually not read any of those books. That's okay though. I do have one book that I'm reading and I'm almost done. My challenge for the month of January was to read a chapter a day and finish this whole book. I'm almost there. I'm really proud of myself. Anyways, back to the questions. I think there's one more. The last question I'm going to talk about today is my goals for pickleball. So obviously anyone could say their goal is to be number one. That would be great, to be number one female in the world. However, I like to set smaller goals with little stepping stones, like short-term, long-term goals. So my short-term goals for pickleball for 2024, I would love to be drafted into the MLP. I signed with the league and I'm just waiting to see what happens with the draft. My goal is to medal at an APP event or a PPA if I'm able to play that. I would like to break into the top 20 females in pickleball, as well as be number one player in Canada. Because it's such a new sport, I think Canada's a little behind in their competitive pickleball. So I think this is a good opportunity for me to help build the sport, create a brand around myself in Canada as one of the top female players in Canada, as well as in the league in itself. And yeah, so those are my short-term goals. I really want to inspire people. I want to inspire people to get active. I want to inspire people to follow their dreams. I think anything is possible if you want it badly enough and you just somehow figure it out. You figure out how to make it work, and then things just start aligning. So whatever your dreams, your goals are, I would encourage you to go after them and just do it. Don't think twice, because it took me months to start doing these vlogs because I just kept overthinking, and I was like, you know what, I just got to start somewhere. Even if it's just small, little steps will go a long way. So thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you next week. Bye.